Well, hey there. Good morning, Brickheads. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope your week is going well. I know mine is. And hey, we're only a couple days from the weekend, so hang in there. I'm going to talk your ear off about a Wild Card Wednesday in hopes to help you get to that weekend. So, hey, before I get into it, though, before I start talking about today's topic, I do want to just say thank you. You know, whether you're listening in on your favorite LEGO podcast platform, or maybe you're a visual person and you just like checking things out on the YouTube page, no matter how you get this episode, I greatly appreciate it. Just want to always say that. And seriously, it takes people like you listening in. Each week I broadcast Mondays and Wednesdays. And so if you like it, if you enjoy the content on YouTube, I would love it for you to like and subscribe on the podcast platforms, whatever it is you're listening to, hit that subscribe button there too. That way you can catch all the latest and greatest every Monday and Wednesday. But hey, today is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, I like to do a Wild Card Wednesday, and I tend to alternate between some weird topic and then a set review. And here's the deal. This July, we are getting our new LEGO Icons vehicle. And I don't know about you, but, you know, there's people out there that modular buildings, that is what they wait all year for. Like, that is like their Christmas right there, which ironically, it comes out around Christmas time, right? And that is just what they love. And I love that for them. But can I tell you, for me, at Christmas time, I love the Winter Village release. But in the summertime, man, I love the new LEGO Icons vehicle release. It's like, what is the latest vehicle that we're going to be getting? And I got to tell you, I'm not particularly a fan of Technic. And, you know, there are people that are going to hate me out there for that. I will tell you, you Technic fans out there, definitely what is produced in Technic is definitely more realistic, definitely a more complicated build, arguably harder and just more accurate in many ways. And so while I appreciate a LEGO Technic build, that's just never been my thing. What I appreciate instead is LEGO coming up with that same sort of vehicle, but in the smooth, sweet lines that you get in the Icons line. Okay, we're not talking about studs or holes or those kind of things. We're talking about smooth brick, a realistic looking vehicle with still some functionality. So that is my bag. That is what I love. And I do actually own most of the Icons, Creator Expert, and Advanced Models vehicles. I just really, really enjoy them. And here's the deal. July 1st, we are getting this year's LEGO Icons vehicles, and it is set 10357, the Shelby Cobra 427. Okay, so this is a 1960s two-seater coupe that is just this gorgeous little thing, done in blue with the white racing stripes, and it is, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's an absolute beauty. I cannot wait to get it. And so in hype for that, in preparation for that, I thought it would be fun to take a step back 6 years and look at another blue with white racing stripes Ford Icons vehicle. I mean, technically it's a Creator Expert, but it's along that same line. And that's none other than set 10265, the Ford Mustang. And to be clear, the Mustang and the Cobra are two different things, okay? So if you're not a car head, a gearhead, motor head, whatever head you are, I'm not really either, to be honest with you, but sometimes people think a Shelby Mustang and a Shelby Mustang Cobra, or a Shelby Cobra, but not the Mustang. Sometimes it's like, is that the same vehicle? And they're not. In the 1960s, you had, what's his name? Thomas Shelby, the iconic race car designer, right? And he's well known for taking Ford and racing in the Le Mans 24. It's that 24-hour race where you had Ferrari and all of those well-known people. Well, Ford was never a part of that. But in the 60s, Shelby got his hands into Ford. There's actually a good movie on that with Matt Damon and whatnot. But he designed what we call the Shelby Cobra, and that is the little two-seater coupe, which is a little different than the Ford Mustang, which is I believe it's a Lee Iacocca design, 64, versus the Cobra, which I think is a 67. So either or, there are certainly similarities, but they are different vehicles. But I digress into the history of cars. I don't get really into the weeds of all that. What I do know, though, is I love this vehicle. And if you're watching it on YouTube, I have the picture. I have the actual vehicle sitting next to me, and I have it in turbocharged mode, which means you got the engine sticking out of the hood like those classic muscle cars, and I got the wheels up, and it's just looking like it is ready to tear up some road and go into full racing mode. So here's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I already gave you a little bit of history, but I'm going to talk more about this vehicle and the LEGO Icons vehicles in general. I'm going to give you some basic specs, the things that I love about this vehicle, all of that good stuff, and then I'll finish with a set rating. And when I rate a set, I tend to rate it on 4 things, and that is playability, displayability, the build experience, and the overall value, which gives me a final rating, which lets me know to let you know, do I think this set is worth your time? And more importantly, is it worth your money? So, hey, let's get into it. I want to start off with some basic specs, okay? So, technically, this is a 2019 release. Came out in March of 2019, and it was under the Creator Expert line, okay? So you have, it's essentially the exact same line, but it started off with advanced models, like way back when, even before that. But in 2008 is what I really call the start of it with the LEGO VW Bug. There were 2, the VW Bug and then the VW camper van, and those were under advanced models. Then fast forward a few years and you get the release of the Creator Expert vehicles. And this is, if you count those advanced models, this is what I want to say is to be the 6th in this line, okay? And so it ran as Creator Expert from 2014 to 2020. And then in 2021, the Expert line turned into LEGO Icons, which is what we know today. When you see that iconic black box that says 18 plus, that is what we're talking about. But again, this came out in 2019, was on shelves for quite some time, like 4 years. It went on retirement in December of 2023, which is good for you because the other specs is this is a 1,417 piece set, so a decent size for a LEGO vehicle. And at its time of release, it was $150, which at that time, 2019, $150 for a 1,471 piece set, that was pretty expensive. It was 10.2 cents per piece. Then in 2022, it actually got the price hike, summer of 22, along with all of those other sets that year. And so it was on sale for $170. So if you bought this car in the first half, you got it for $150. If you waited right before it retired, it was $170, which puts it at 11.56 cents per piece. So it was an expensive set to buy retail for sure. Good news though, hey, if you like this vehicle, you can buy it on the aftermarket. And while some things tend to increase greatly in price with LEGO, the vehicles don't hold their value very well. And I think in large part because they tend to have such a long shelf life. Like I said, this was on shelves for like 4 years. But if you want to buy this new in box right now, you can buy it for $130. Like the last, according to brickset.com, the last 6 months sales, the average price is just $130. And that is new in box. If you want to buy it used, which, I mean, a lot of you, if you're getting it for your collection, I have zero problem buying a used LEGO set. It's only $100. Like the price range literally on BrickSet for the last 6 months for a used Mustang is anywhere between $67 and $135. So I don't know who got one of these for $70, but you sure did good getting it at over 50% off for sure. So again, if you aren't, worried about buying it used, you got to be worried about stickers. You got to be worried about the manual and box condition. Usually there is no box, but if you're okay with that and you read that the manual is okay, or sometimes you don't need the manual because you can download whatever instructions you want from lego.com, so that just leaves you with stickers. So if you're okay, if it says 100% complete and the stickers are all there and whatnot, buy it used. It'll look great in your collection, get it for half the cost. But anyway, that's the basic specs. But can I tell you one of the things I really like about this set, even before I opened it up, was the box art. Nowadays, every 18 plus set is a black box. And like at the beginning, I was like, cool, simple, sleek, nice black box. But it seems like half of every Lego set now comes in just a black box that says 18 plus. What this set did with the Creator Expert line, that's when they put a little more effort into their box art. And it is the Mustang set in front of the LA river basin, like the dry river basins where you see like racing scenes in, Grease, or like Terminator 2. I mean, there's a lot of scenes from movies that are filmed down there, but that's the box backdrop art for this set. I just think that's kind of a cool little touch because, right, where are you going to have this muscle car on display? Well, in a place where they raced those kind of cars all the time. Pretty iconic. So I just liked that a lot, as well as, other parts of this set that I thought were cool is, although there were 14 stickers, the majority of the stickers are for license plates. And you could actually, there were a couple plates, I believe, for the states. So you could get a California license plate or a Michigan license plate, like Detroit, right? But they also had an Australian license plate, I believe, a UK license plate, and a German license plate. So it really gave you some versatility in on how you wanted to display it. The only issue being is you got to store your license plates if you don't want to lose those pieces. So I just throw mine in the trunk and they're fine. And then speaking of the trunk, one of the cool features of this vehicle is if you open the trunk, there's actually a nitrous oxide tank in the trunk. And I just think that's a really cool feature. Feels very Fast and the Furious, right? Where, you push your little button on your steering wheel or wherever it is and enables the nitrous oxide, and your muscle car just goes that much faster. It's nice. And then beyond that, just the fact that you can actually change out the hood. Like for me, when I look at this set, when I look at this Ford Mustang, I think to myself, this engine is absolutely dope. But if you didn't want to display it as a muscle car, you can actually trade out the hood and take away the big, what do they call that? The block, the engine block. You can tell I'm not a gearhead. I love the way they look, but I'm just not a car guy. I'm just going to be honest with you. But the big old huge engine block that would be exposed so you can get all the, opens the, what do they call that? The exhaust, and you get all the air coming into the fuel intake, air intake. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. The air intake. And so you could have it on display like that, or you could literally just take the engine block completely out and display it without it and just do a regular simplified hood. And so the good news is, though, it's like if you remove this giant muscle car engine block, you still had the details inside the hood. So you got all the valve covers, which got some stickers. You got the little serpentine belt in there in front and the whole intake fans. And it just looks good, right? Like it's a nice looking engine, definitely detailed. And the other part that was cool about this set is it was one of the first times they incorporated steering into the set. So that's kind of a norm nowadays. But before, it was just literally, unless it was a Technic set, it was a car that just went forward and backwards. Like the wheels worked on their axles, but they made sure the steering column connected all the way to that front axle so you could actually steer this car and turn it for a little more playability features, which I think is a nice little touch. And something, again, that was not the norm in 2019 when this car first came out. In addition to that, we got the nice tan seating with the tan and nougat color. The interior looks good, and you can actually pull off the entire top body, the roof, and so you can actually take a look at the interior. And then probably one of my favorite features to this vehicle is there is a little crank. Oops, sorry about the noise there. But there's a little crank on the back underneath the trunk, a little gear. And you can turn that gear with your finger, and it actually lowers or raises the back end of the vehicle. And, you know, if you're not a gearhead like me, you might be like, well, why? Why would it do that? Well, here's the deal. If you want this bad boy in racing, like all that torque, like taken off from the line, that back end you want sitting up, like it just... You know, I don't know the technical terms behind all of it, but if you're going to make it a pure muscle car and you have this giant V8 with all this torque coming out, you wanted those big back tires to give you plenty of contact with that road so you could take off at full speed off the line. So, again, leave me a comment below if you are a gearhead. Let me know how terrible a job I am doing explaining all that. Here's what I know. It looks cool. And I really like it with the wheels and the whole back end up on full display where it's actually really high and it just looks like it's ready for racing mode. So I don't know, like I said, the technical terms behind all of it. All I know is car go fast, look pretty. This is what I like. Hence why I guess probably I like the Icons vehicles over the Technic vehicles. Can you tell? Like Technic people are like, well, now wait a minute. The 16 valve dual liter engine that doesn't come off right in a 212 time. I don't know. I just like it. It looks good. I buy these cars for the body style, right? I mean, that's why I'm so excited about the Shelby Cobra that's coming out. It's got a cool looking body style. It's this beautiful little coupe. Likewise with this 2019 Ford Mustang. It just looks and feels like a tough car. It's the kind of car you want to take out and you want to just race it down the road, right? So anyway, I hope, like you say, you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, are these vehicles worth it? Yeah, they're a little expensive, but again, here's the key to all this. A lot of them are cheap on the aftermarket. In fact, there's pretty much only like 2 vehicles on the aftermarket, the Vita Bug and then the Ferrari F40. Those are pretty much the only 2 vehicles that are really valuable and harder to get your hands on. If you like these sets, like you've just got into LEGO over the last couple of years and you've only got your hands on the Fiat or the Mini or just the latest with the Lamborghini, and you really like these, go to BrickLink, go to BrickOwl. You can find them on really good deals. Do not go to Amazon and buy this on Amazon. Go to a LEGO reseller, okay? Or if you want to get it in person, a lot of times you can find it at your local Bricks and Minifigs, but not the LEGO store because it's been retired now for a year and a half. So just keep those things in mind. Like I say, if it were me and I still wanted this vehicle, I would just go to BrickLink. I would look at those prices, maybe double check eBay sold listings, find myself a good deal, and get it used for $100 and put it on display with the rest of my vehicles. That's what I would do. So anyway, it is a great looking set, and I want to give you a set rating for this, let you know where I think it stands overall in the, like I will just say, the Icons vehicles. Yeah, I know it's creator expert, but I'm just going to call them all Icons just for ease purposes. But as I said, you can get it rated on playability, displayability, build experience, and value. Those are the 4 things I rate on. For playability, as I said, one of the first Icons vehicles that actually had the steering column that really worked. Obviously, you can tell how much I enjoy raising the back tires up and down. I like the fact that I can change out the license plates as well as the big, huge engine block in front. If I don't like that look, I can streamline it and put in a regular hood there. And so you get these build options. So it's really nice in the playability factor there, where you can make it look like a sleek road car or a big bad muscle car. So for that, I would say an 8.5, especially in 2019. This was a pretty sweet, impressive design at the time. Displayability, I love it. The blue, okay, so here's the deal. I think a lot of people think of Fords in either that cherry red or green color. To me, though, I love the blue with the white racing stripes. That is my preferred look. And another reason why I think I'm so excited for the Shelby Cobra. Just something about that just nice, deep, dark blue color with the juxtaposition of those white racing stripes going down it. I just think it looks really good, and it looks great on a shelf. Like, this sits in my office at work right next to my Aston Martin and my Camaro. And I gotta say, this is the one that stands out. And the Camaro, absolutely love it, but that dark color scheme, the black with just the red pinstripes on it, doesn't stand out nearly as well. The Aston Martin, which is a super fun playable set, just in its all, gray monochromatic scheme, doesn't nearly pop as much as this guy. So for displayability, I'm going to give this a 9. All right, and then build experience. Yes, it's been a few years since I've built this set, but I will tell you, just like all of the vehicles in the Icons line, they're a fun build. It's got, if I remember correctly, it had 11 bags numbered 1 through 6, and it was one of those where you build the chassis and then you build it up from there. The interior comes together, and then towards the end you get those little unique parts where you can decide, how do I want the finish style looking? So for the build experience, I'm also going to give it an 8 out of 10. Really fun. But again, I'm the kind of person, I love building the Icons vehicles. I just think they're enjoyable, not much repetition, but just the way it comes together is always a fun little build. And then here's probably the biggest knock on this one. It's the value. Like I said, it was expensive when it came out at over 10 cents per piece. It's not even 1,500 pieces, but we were paying $150. And then for it to get jacked up $20, well, that was a little absurd for sure. Like, there's no reason we should be paying that much for this set, but that's just kind of what LEGO does. And that's usually the biggest knock on a LEGO set, is how much it costs. So again, let me reiterate. Buy this set on the aftermarket. This is one where you're going to save a lot of money. Go to BrickLink, go to BrickOwl, you can save some money. But for value, I'm going to put it at a 6. Not the worst, probably about middle of the road for sure. So 6 out of 10. So, hey, if you are keeping track at home, that puts us at our overall rating at a 7.9 out of 10, which I think is very appropriate for this car. Very appropriate for a vehicle that came out 6 years ago, and that's definitely different than what we're putting together nowadays. The vehicles that we put together nowadays, you get a little bit more options in there, but that is also the evolution of LEGO over the last 6 years. I think if you were to put the Cobra that's coming out here in a few days right next to this, I think the Cobra, as far as its look, it's probably going to blow it out of the water, in my opinion. But again, it should. It's 6 years newer. It should be a better set overall. It's also going to be a more expensive set per piece overall, so you got to keep that in mind as well. But anyway, you let me know. First, are you an Icons vehicle person? Do you have all the Icons vehicles? I am missing that F40 Ferrari, kicking myself still to this day that I never bought it. But besides that, I do have most of them, and I love them. And I tell you, this Mustang is towards the top of that list. So where is it on your list? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you like, meh, I'm not a car person? Let me know in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, I usually get back to comments within about 24 hours. So, but as always, I just appreciate you, and I love talking about a set review. And I think, again, this one's appropriate because don't forget, in just a few more days, the new Ford Shelby Cobra is going to hit shelves. Who knows? You may want to wait on that too. It's probably going to be one of those on the aftermarket that's not going to hold its value as well. So it is something to keep in mind for sure. But hey, we're in July, so that means it's all about the vehicles right now. And so I'm excited about them. I hope you are too. And with that, I appreciate you. I do want to give you one final thing before I let you go. Let you know I'm going on vacation. I need a couple weeks off. I'm not necessarily leaving, but I just need a couple weeks to relax and recharge. It is the summer months. And so I'm going to tell you for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to leave you with some, you're still going to get a regular Monday and Wednesday post. It is just going to be an episode that we have played before. I found 4 great episodes from 2024 that I know you're going to love. And I know not a lot of people listen to because that was back towards the beginning of the podcast when people really didn't even know it existed. So hopefully we can give some of those old episodes some love and give me a couple weeks off because, like I say, I need it at this point. Anyway, but besides that, hey, again, I appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Make it to the weekend strong. And until a couple weeks from now, I'll just see you on the next one. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
How it's supposed to feel.